Welcome to the New Author Podcast, a weekly podcast diary starring Jerry Evanoff and Rich Casey. Join them weekly as they talk about writing, publishing, and marketing their books. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Sunday edition of the New Author Podcast. Today's May 10th, 2026. This is episode number 354. I am one of the hosts of this podcast, Jerry Evanoff. And with me, as he is each week, is Rich Casey. Rich, how are you?
I just finished my last day of work until a week from Tuesday, and we're going to be going up to visit my son and going up even further north to do some bird watching. Hawk migration is in full swing up there. The only bad downside is that where we're going to watch the hawks, the highs are predicted to be like in the mid 40s at the most. So it's going to be chilly compared to the fact that we're in the mid 80s here right now. So
yeah, you're about a week early for us on actually hitting summer. I think this is the last week of us being cold, and then next week it's going to be it's going to start getting warm again.
Yeah. Well, the mid 40s in the Upper Peninsula is a beautiful spring day. So
okay.
Yeah, that's pretty. I think if they may touch 80 in the summertime, but not usually.
Okay. All right, interesting. Okay, well, let me jump into my my stats here, and I actually don't have any stats. I mean, I'm still plotting like crazy. I've expanded my book to be a 27 chapter book. When I first wrote it, it was 22 chapters, 51,000 words. That was the first draft. I've expanded it out to 27, and I'm really just kind of putting everything in order. And I've cut a couple of chapters, and I've added a couple more that I'll have to write from scratch. But I don't really have any stats.
Yeah, and I don't really either. I didn't do any writing at all this week. Any free time that I did have, I'll talk about that a little bit later, free time at work. But free time at home, I just played on Substack, and I was making a bunch of new friends, making some connections. And
Really?
Yeah, I've got like nine or 10 subscribers now, which is good. And people who would talk back and forth with you. So,
okay.
Yeah. Actual writers who are writing stuff, and we're talking about each other's stuff. So it's kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
It's like a little bit like a book club, I guess.
Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit too, because I had a meeting with my marketing person that I met through Reedsy earlier this week, and we talked a little bit about Substack and that same kind of thing. So we'll talk about that a little later.
Okay, good.
All right, getting into my weekend review. So we podcasted on Monday, so that's 6 days ago. So it'll be a little bit of a shorter podcast day, a little bit of a shorter review for both of us, since it's one less day here. Tuesday, I was in the office, and at lunch, I took a knife to my book. This is where I did some major cutting and moving around. This would have been the kind of thing, had I done it on my bulletin board over here, I'd be moving note cards around and throwing other ones away, and then adding blank ones into other spots that I would soon fill in with chapter stuff. And that was Tuesday. I had a pretty good handle on my characters at this point, not completely, but I felt pretty good about it. So now it was time to kind of like reframe those chapters with this extra stuff in there, which meant I had to define my pinch points and my midpoint, along with how the climax started and where it ended. I did have a scene where Sam and Linus, my main character and my sidekick, go to this secret warehouse out of town where the murder happened to explore. Then like 3 chapters later, Sam goes back alone, finds a body, and the climax starts. And I was like, I don't really need them going there the first time. Let's make it a little more fun for Sam when he goes there and finds the body. That's the first time he's been there, so it's going to be new to him. I think that'll make a little more tension in that section. So I cut that first one out when they went there.
Now, which book is this? Is this book?
This is book 3.
Okay, so you're still working on basically the edits.
Yeah, today was the day that I was going to send in a plot summary to Super Editor C, right. And we were going to do kind of a developmental edit on the actual summary, the outline, instead of a full book. And I had emailed her earlier in the week and just said, it's not going to be this week. It's going to be another week or so. And she said, no problem. You're just sending me an outline. You can send it whenever. We don't need to like schedule it. And she charges $250 for that, which is good because it's not a full developmental edit, but it's still a way for me to go through the entire plot. And then when I go to edit the 51,000 words that I've written, I have an idea of where it starts and where it ends in terms of the plot. I'm not kind of, last time I wrote, 92,000 words or 90,000 words and sent it to her. And by the time I was done, I was down to like 67,000. If I could have just sent her an outline first, and we could have determined what was important and what could go and what we needed to add, then I think, it wouldn't have taken me near as long. So that's why I'm comfortable with this pre-order being up at November 24th, where I'm still working on the plot. But I do have 51,000 words written, and once I get a handle on the plot, then it'll be pretty easy to write. So
It's and I know I've seen it online, but I can't remember what's the title of the book.
Networking Murder.
Networking marketing. Okay.
So every
for
book,
the fans out there, so they know.
yeah. Every book is going to be a 2-word title. Murder is the second word, and the first word is an ing that hopefully has a double meaning. So the first one is manufacturing murder. It happened in a manufacturing plant, and they're kind of manufacturing or making murder. The second was inheriting murder, where it happened during a will reading, so there's an inheritance, but it's also Sam and some of the others inheriting a murder, basically. And this one's networking murder. It happens in a big time corporation, a tech company, where there's a big network set up that's going to be part of the plot, but they're also going to be networking during the actual story. So each one has a double meaning. It's kind of what I'm going for. So
good deal.
Yeah. All right. So I went through the pinch points, the midpoint, kind of defined where they were going to be, what they were, what I wanted to cut. So this was Tuesday. It started raining on Tuesday around 2:00. And it did not end until 6 a.m. the next morning. So obviously we weren't going to golf at 4:00 that day. I did drive to the golf course just in case people were there. And there were a few of us there. Sent the big email out telling everybody we were canceled. And then I drove home and didn't do much in the evening. Although earlier in the day, so we're back to my promo stack. I talked about this last week where I set up the promo stack, and one of the companies in the promo stack is called Book Adrenaline. And that was part of the promo stack I set up through Written Word Media, because they have this bundles, which is pretty cool. But then I had forgotten, and I went to Book Adrenaline's website and set up one through them separately, one on Tuesday and one on Wednesday. And I did email both of them saying, hey, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want you guys to cancel me. What do I do? So I did get an email on Tuesday evening from Book Adrenaline and said, yeah, we don't care. We'll run you both days. It's fine. So that's cool. So I just had to hear back from Written Word Media to hear what they had to say also, which will come later. On Wednesday, I did work from home, and I ended up on a call most of my lunch break. So I didn't really do much. So then after work, I was like, well, I didn't get to write at lunch. I might as well just go out. So I went to the local sub place to continue my plotting. Made a lot of progress on this day. And for the first time, I actually feel like I have a good progression through the first half of the story of everything that's happening with Sam and who he's looking at, what happens, the people that he meets, and kind of how things go through. It's the first time that I've really felt that since I've started this plotting. Ended up getting through about the first 10 chapters. The midpoint's at 13. The midpoint reverses everything that he's doing in the whole first half, which is what it's supposed to do. So I feel like I'm building toward that. And I'm also working on some of the character stuff for the suspects as I go, and that's feeling good. I was there until about 7:15, and then I went to grab Max from my parents, and I came home and did not much of anything after that. Thursday, I worked from home, and there was nothing in terms of writing and plotting, because at lunch I had my phone call with Ellie, again, the Read Z marketing woman that I met. This is my third call with her out of 4. We talked mostly about the promo stuff, the Kindle Countdown deal that I had going on. Just kind of going through it, just so she understood what I was doing. She did tell me to, in my email list when I send it out, to use words like limited time and get it for 99 cents today, because those kind of things tend to get people to act. It's the whole fear of missing out thing.
Right. You want to generate artificial scarcity.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what the Kindle Countdown deal does. I mean, right there on the page, it literally says 99 cents for like 3 more days or whatever it says. So, yeah. I did tell her I was going to run Facebook ads toward this, that during that 7 days to it being 99 cents. I think I said this last week, but the amount of money I make off of this isn't the most important thing to me. The most important thing to me is generating a whole bunch of sales so that I get emails when they go to book 1.5, and I get orders on book 2 and potentially pre-orders on book 3. That's what I care about more. If I don't make up my money just from the book 1 sales, it's not the end of the world. I just want to see what they do as they go through it. So the big thing she talked about though was the Facebook ad. She told me that it usually takes 2 to 3 days for this Kindle Countdown deals to actually get going, kind of ramp up a little bit. So she said what I should do is run the Facebook ad from Monday to Wednesday, and then Wednesday evening check it. If the click-through is good, keep it going. If not, create a new one and double the spend for the last 4 days, because that's when it starts to ramp up. But you want an ad with click-through. So if the click-through on that one is bad, do something different in your ad, and then start it up again and run it for 4 days, the last 4 days at double double the spend, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But she does say if the click through is good, but it's not converting, change the blurb for the last few days and then see what happens. It's actually an interesting way to test things.
Right.
So that's the plan. I did set up an ad, and what I'm doing is going $5 a day for the first 3 days, and then you can automatically have the ad change the price, which is great. You don't have to go in and do it manually. You can automatically do it. So I set it up for $5 a day for the first 3, and then $10 a day for the last 4. And I'll get to the whole ad, how I set it up here in a little while with my recap, but I did set one up based on what she had said. She also took a look at my A+ content, and the big thing she mentioned was, and I don't know if you've heard this, but I've heard people talk about this, podcasters who talk about this A10 algorithm, how one of the things that matters now is how much time a reader spends on your page. That's like a big deal for them. The more time they spend, the more likely Amazon is to show it to other people when they do searches. And she said one of the best ways to get that to work is the A+ content. The more you have, the more you give them to read and look at, the better off you are, the more time it is.
Right.
But she mentioned one of the templates you can use is called a comparison matrix. It looks like if you go to like Best Buy or Amazon and you like pick 3 lawnmowers, then you compare them.
Right.
And you've got like the grid with 3 or 4 lines, and then you've got this one, this one, and this one, the price, and she said, that's something that you can set up in there, and you could put links in there. So if you link to book 2, if they're looking at book 1's page and they click on book 2, that doesn't reset the timer because it's about the author, not the book they're looking at, or not the page they're looking at.
Okay.
So what I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to take a look at this comparison thing, matrix. I'm going to set it up as part of my A+ content for all 3 books. And again, try to keep people on the pages of my books, regardless of which ones are on, but try to keep people on there. So that was a big deal.
So who's going to be your comparisons? Have you decided, or?
Well, no, what you're doing is you're comparing your books to each other. Like my 3 books, I would put book 1, book 2, book 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I would link, like if you're on the book 1 page, you can click the link to book 2 or book 3 and it takes you to those pages, but it keeps you on your author page. It keeps people on your author page. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a big thing. And then in the evening, I played my football game. I set up a game, the 1989 Browns versus the 1989 Dolphins. That was a lot of fun. I actually finished it today. Browns lost, but it was a lot of fun. I love playing with Bernie Kosar and Dan Marino. So it's, I'm just a big fan. So Friday, I worked from home. It was only a half a day. And then I was off to BW3 at lunchtime to work more on the book 3 plot. And the first thing I did was change my victim's name. This is a name I've been using from the very beginning. His name was Gregory Hale. And Gregory Hale is actually one of the characters in a Dan Brown book that I heard the guys on 372 pages talking about. And that name just stuck with me. So I just named my character Gregory Hale. But I've been wanting to change it for a long time. And I'm like, I got to do it at some point. So I literally just did a copy and replaced and changed it to something else, which is kind of weird because I still call him Hale all the time, but it's now Shaw is his last name. So that's the first thing I did. So now I'm back to the plotting. So I reviewed what I had for the first 10 chapters, added a few things, and then I worked toward the midpoint. And I'm in that soggy middle, which always seems to be the hardest part to get through. The action thing where your main character goes from, being reactive to proactive and now taking on the case and figuring it out on their own and questioning people and doing this and doing that. And I always struggle with that part. I know when I send it to C, there's going to be a lot of conversation about this middle. I did finish up the stuff for chapter 10 and did chapter 11. These are actually new chapters as I cut some of the other ones. I did receive my book 2 paperbacks. And that gave me a whole bunch of book 1 paperbacks and book 2 paperbacks. They're right down there on the floor. And this allows me to now set up my Etsy because I can take pictures of everything and put them on my Etsy page. Yeah. So that's going to be something that I do really soon. Update that really soon. I've already sold 3 of the 12 paperbacks I bought, though, which is kind of weird. I was selling them last year for $10. I'm going to sell them for 12 going forward because it went up. The print cost went up a little bit.
Right. So you sold them on Etsy?
No. I sold them just randomly around here. People that have been waiting for them. Yeah. Oh, okay. I haven't sold any. I've sold on Etsy in the past. I just haven't with the new batch of books. Okay. But I have sold stuff on Etsy. Yeah. I came home from Buffalo Wild Wings. I worked on my website, keeping going with that SEO stuff that I talked about, where AI, what does AI look at on a web page when somebody searches for a book? What does it look for? So I was working on that some more, checking the Google Search Console to see how things look. I was just kind of going through that whole process. It took me a couple of hours. Then I, kind of hung out for a little while. Then I went to bed. Yesterday morning, Saturday, I had a tea time, 7:12 a.m. I did not play well. It was a little chilly, but that's not the greatest excuse. I was working on my new driver a little bit. There's a guy that I golfed with yesterday who's a really good long hitter. He's a really nice guy, fun to play with. And I was asking him, he's got the kind of swing that I would like to have, which is a nice big draw. So right to left, a long way. And I was kind of asking him, what do you do? How do you do? So he was giving me tips. And it was finally the 17th hole where I hit one right down the middle a long way. And then I did the same thing on the 18th hole. And when you're golfing, you always think you found something because it works for 5 holes. And then you go play 9 holes, 3 days later and it's gone.
Yeah.
So we'll see on my league night, Tuesday night, how this works. I'm actually playing against that guy. He's on the team I'm playing against on Tuesday. So it'll be interesting to see how it happens, how it goes at a course I don't like, which is my Tuesday night golf league course.
Right.
So that was a good time. I think I shot 96 though. I didn't have a single par. I don't remember the last time I played that course and didn't have a par, but I had 12 bogeys and 6 double bogeys for 96, which is about as high as I've been in a long time at that place. Wow. But again, I was working off stuff off the tee, so yeah. I'm not disappointed about it. It's not too surprised. Came home, went to the local sub shop to write. Worked pretty hard on chapters 12, 13. 13 is the midpoint. Then I began sketching out what I would do in the second half, starting with chapter 14. I reworked it and then took my actual chapter 15 that I had written for my first draft and plugged it in there. And then it was time to go. I drove up to the Amish area to meet a buddy of mine who lives an hour from me. We met halfway so we could exchange some golf league stuff. He missed last week and gave me some things, and then I had to give it back to him. So I was up there, came home and didn't do much of anything in the evening last night. I was planning on golfing tonight, but I didn't for reasons that I won't get into. But I didn't. So I spent most of the morning setting up the Facebook ad for my Kindle Countdown deal. So, I started out with ChatGPT the same way that I did with my Amazon ads, just to get an idea. Because I don't know, Facebook's ad manager is awful. It's always really been awful. It's awful. It's so overcomplicated, and they turn on so many things that you end up turning off. It's just awful. So I went to ChatGPT and just said, give me step-by-step instructions. And it got me all the way to the point where it was time to create the ad, the actual image, the ad image you're going to use. And I really don't know what to do there. So I went to someone who's a lot smarter than me, and that's David Gogren. He has a great Facebook ad tutorial video that's 54 minutes long. And he literally shows you from start to finish how to do it. And he was pretty much doing exactly what I was doing, which was setting up an Amazon ad for one of his books. And I think it was fake. He wasn't going to actually publish it. But it was great. And I went through it. I saw what he did. And I thought, well, I'm going to do that too. So I went into BookBrush, set up an image for the ad that was just the book cover with a little tagline beside it. Mm-hmm. And this is going to run during the 7 days that my Kindle Countdown deal is going for 99 cents. So I just put the book cover. Then beside it, I wrote something like 99 cents for a limited time, book 1 in series, something like that. And uploaded it. And I was funny because when I opened up his video, I went back to the beginning of my ad. I didn't delete anything. I didn't start over. I just went back to the beginning of it, and I followed along with him. And ChatGPT actually got most of the stuff right, or at least in sync with what he said in terms of some of the things you're supposed to do, how you turn off certain things, how you search for the targeting, how you do the targeting. I did add one thing in there that Gogren said to add that ChatGPT didn't, but it was actually pretty close. I was pretty surprised about that. So that was good. So
makes me think of something Joanna Penn said the other day, which is she's now, when she does ads or A+ content for that matter, she feeds her whole book into, I can't remember what she uses, if ChatGPT or if she probably ChatGPT, and tells it, you got the whole book, come up with 3 images or 5 images or whatever that would be good for marketing this book.
Oh, okay.
Just lets it generate them. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Actually, that's not a bad. I wonder if Notebook LLM doesn't create images, but it does. I'm so impressed with how Notebook LLM can read the entire book. Like, right. ChatGPT, I haven't tried ChatGPT in a while with that much content, but in the past, it's never been able to read something that big and get all the way to the end. It always gets like part of the way and then stops.
Well, I think she actually, buys it or whatever as a pro subscription. Right. So yeah.
Right. So I will put a link to this video in the show notes. It's a really, really good video. David Gogren, he's really good at this. So by the time I was done, it was 10. I'm not leaving until 10:30 because the lunch places don't open till 11. So I got a half an hour to kick around. And what I did was I set up my next MailerLite email. I was going to set it up for this week because I just released my second Substack today. So I was going to set it up for this week. But then I realized I'm going to set it up for the same week as my promo stack, because then I can tell people it's 99 cents. And, oh, by the way, the Perry Mason second episode is available. And I actually set up the whole thing I did last time, which was, what do you call it? When it auto resends to the people who don't open it the first time. So with the first one, I put the title of something like, price reduction for book 1. And then I put the stuff about manufacturing murder and the promo stack and the Kindle Countdown as the first 2 paragraphs. And then I put the next 2 paragraphs being about Perry Mason. And then in the resend 2 days later, I put Perry Mason as the subject line. And I put that at the top. I just swapped them. I put Perry Mason at the top and I put the book 1 stuff at the bottom. I'm just going to see what happens there. I don't know if it means anything, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting to do it that way.
Now, here's the major difference between me and you, and why you have 9 books and I have 1, not even 1.
Yeah.
And that's because you had that spare half hour and you did something. With that spare half hour, I would have laid down for a short nap and woken up 4 hours later. So,
yeah. I mean, I actually am enjoying this more than I thought. And it's funny because, I love golf. I don't know if you know that about me, Rich.
Yeah.
I love to golf, right? But these Sunday morning kind of admin days, the last 3 or 4 weeks since I've been getting all this stuff together, I've gotten so much done before 10:30, which is when I leave to go to Hothead to write. And it's like, I don't want to take golf off every week, but I could see taking the one off here and there when it's going to be a little rainy, or maybe I can find an excuse. If I'm the only one and nobody else is golfing with me, maybe I just stay home. I paid $600 for my weekend membership. It's $49 to golf there. So that I only have to golf 13 rounds to make up for the 700. I'm going to golf way more than that. I do probably 25 to 30. But this year, maybe it's only 20 instead because I take a couple Sundays. Now, once I start writing and it's the only thing I'm doing, then it won't be as big of a deal. Yeah. But now I'm just doing all those things as book 2 came out and I'm getting ready to do the Substack stuff. So, I've been enjoying it. So yeah, that half hour was fun. It took me a half an hour to set the email up. That was it. It was so easy. I stopped trying to be extra in the email that I'm sending out to my subscribers. I literally just put the content that I want in there. I didn't try to be funny. A couple things probably were funny, but I didn't try to be funny. I didn't try to have a theme. I didn't try to do the same thing I did last time. I literally just typed what I wanted to type, made some changes, corrected the grammar, and it called it done, which I think it's working out. I think it's a really nice way to do it because you could do it quickly.
Right.
And then I went to Hothead. Oh man, I'm afraid that the new neighbor has a motorcycle too. I'm a little bit worried about this. I just heard something start up next to me.
I can hear it.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't paying attention to the saga, and why would you be? I'm not telling anybody about it. My neighbor moved out. Thank God. Finally, he's very noisy and very loud, and I'm very happy that he's gone. And the new neighbors are moving in today, and they're staying there for the first time tomorrow. And I really like them. I've met them a couple times. They're very nice people. I'm just worried they're going to be just as loud, and maybe I'm approaching that get off my lawn age.
Yeah, you could be.
Yeah, that could. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's not them. It's just me. But anyway, I just heard that motorcycle start. Something. It sounded like a motorcycle kick on as I was talking. So anyway, all right. So I came home. I went to Hothead. Continued working through book 3. I'm now through the first 19 chapters. Although chapter 14 is a little bit weak, it needs something added to it. I also have chapter 20 done. It's also just a little weak. It needs spruced up just a hair. And like I said, I have 27 total chapters. The last 3 are the climax. They're pretty much done. I'm really just in that leading up to the second pinch point right now. And I should be pretty much done. I should be done relatively quickly here. Came home, finished my Browns-Dolphins game. I mean, Rich, the Browns are down 20-17. They get the ball, and 2 separate times in the fourth quarter, they have game-tying field goals that are 40 yards or less, and they miss it both times. So annoyed. So they end up losing 20-17, but that's okay.
Who's the kicker?
Matt Barr. He's great.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I love Matt Barr. So yeah, it was very funny. But anyway, so then after that, I put the football game away and I went out there and had some dinner. And then I actually wrote my next Perry Mason. It's scheduled to be released 2 weeks from now. So the schedule I'm on is write 1 a week, but publish it every 2 weeks. So I'm always getting ahead. Mm-hmm. And if I miss a week of doing it, no big deal because I'm ahead. So right now I just wrote the one today that's not going to be released for 2 weeks. And if I write one next Sunday, that's another 2 weeks we're getting out. So we're getting out pretty far. Right. One thing funny I didn't mention that when I talked to Ellie is she had said to me, oh yeah, you're doing your shows. And she said it plural. And I thought, I'm really just posting one show every 2 weeks. I'm not really posting anything else. Should I do other things? And one of my wheelhouses is kind of like 80s television. Right. I could sit down and write a Golden Girls recap without even watching the episode because I've seen him so many times. Right. So maybe it wouldn't hurt to just post random things every now and then about these TV shows and see what happens.
Or The Office, for that matter.
Yeah, The Office is more of a 90s show, and I really only like the first 3 or 4 seasons. Yeah. But you're right, 100% right. Yeah, absolutely. The Office is a good one. Perfect Strangers and Alf are good ones. Golden Girls is a good one. I mean, Seinfeld would be a fantastic one because I know all those by heart. So
it's a show about nothing, so it'd be hard to write.
That's true. Yeah, it'd be a Substack about nothing, which I bet you exists. I'll bet you a Substack about nothing already exists. So.
It probably does. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just finished that right before we logged on, and I got it scheduled and ready to go. And now we're podcasting, and there you go. That's pretty much my week. Had a really good week, I think.
Yeah, you really did. Me, I did absolutely no writing. Like I said, I did spend a fair amount of time on Substack, making friends and reading people's stuff, and giving them detailed comments, or not really comments, but comments, but not really critiquing or anything like that. And they would write back, and we would write back and forth. So I think there's a possibility of building a little community there. It seems like at least some people want to do that. I also posted my the fact that I'm serializing the novel on Substack. I posted that into Blue Sky, and I had about half a dozen people come over from Blue Sky.
Nice
to check it out. Not everybody subscribed, obviously, but I've got like I said, 9 or 10 subscribers. But the episodes that I've got up there have like 20 some reads, I believe.
Oh, that's nice.
So so people have been reading it, which is good. But the reason why I didn't get any writing done at work, or any kind of editing or anything, is because I just went on a 3D printing tear this week. I 3D printed out a huge commercial propane setup. I printed out a grain elevator. I printed out a grain storage unit. I printed out a barn and a silo. I printed out probably a couple of dozen propane tanks for houses, and just tires and boxes and
just to be clear, these are not life size for Rich. These are for his trains.
Yeah. 1/160th scale.
There you go.
I was just, every chance I got, I was sending something to that printer, which is tough to do because that printer is getting a lot of use by the patrons and stuff. But nobody's doing as cool stuff as I am. They're always doing weird stuff like salad bowls or something like that. So, but yeah, and today I just, since it was Sunday, nobody had signed up for it, I just monopolized it from 10 o'clock when I got there until 6 o'clock when I left. And
wow,
I've got all this plastic. In fact, I've got $29 worth at 5 cents a gram is what I have to pay for doing it. So
was this, I think you talked last week about how you were going to learn to actually, like, I forget the term you used, but it's like making your own thing.
Oh yeah, no, none of these were my own designs. It's stuff I've been picking up off of because there's so much stuff out there that people have done. Yeah, at some point I will probably do my own designs, but right now I'm just kind of burning up my paycheck by printing up other people's designs. But it's been fun. But now that I'm going to be going away for a week, and I've got a lot of stuff now, so I really don't need anything. I'm sure I'll come up with something as I start building the layout, but for right now I'm pretty much done with that.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't really have anything on my future list of things to do. Maybe avoid 3D printing, but yeah, that's it.
Mine is, mine's a little bigger than it's been. I, again, do better on my website pages, which I'm still working through. I was listening to a podcast. I think it was, I'm really enjoying, Kevin Tomlinson has a YouTube thing that he puts about 10 minutes every day up with him just talking. And in one of them, he talked about front matter, and it talked about how the table of contents, what's the point of it? It's worthless. You're just taking up space that could be in the look in or look inside or whatever on Amazon. So why would you have a table of contents type of thing? I thought that's kind of interesting. So I think I put on here at some point to go in and maybe kill my table of contents. It's literally just chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter. There's not anything in there that's of value. If they had titles, it would matter, but even that I would probably kill off. So I got that on there.
If people are reading it on a Kindle, Amazon drops them at the first chapter anyways and skips all that stuff usually.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So yeah, so there's no really no reason for it. So I might kill that off. And then the big one is set up my Etsy with my new products. Now that I have all my books and my notebooks and everything sitting down there on the floor, I'm going to start taking some pictures of everything and then start working on getting that store together. I'm going to up the prices a little bit on everything. I kind of got the idea that if people want to buy book 1 and book 2, I might do a bundle like book 1, book 2, a notebook and a bookmark. That's somebody who actually kind of likes me. Right. And they're not going to, I could probably, what would it cost me? It'd be like 10, 20, probably 20, $29 would be breaking even or making a little bit of money. I think I might do like $39. Just right. If somebody wants to buy it, let them buy it. And if not, and I'll sign them and all that stuff. So I'm probably going to set that up and just see what I can get away with on there. With that, and that's pretty much the only new real exciting new thing I have is just get the Etsy stuff set up. So
yeah, that'll be fun to see how people react to it.
Yeah, even if I sell like 5 of them, I think it'd be kind of interesting just to see how that goes, that whole process. So in terms of my addicted to, Rich, it's waffles. I don't think it was waffles last week. It might have been. I don't remember.
No,
but it's
waffles.
I forget what got me onto it, but I was watching a TV show, maybe Seinfeld, maybe something where they just talked about waffles. And I was like, I like waffles. So then I just started buying them all the time. And now I have like 17,000 blueberry waffles in my freezer. I've already eaten dinner and I'm probably gonna eat a couple waffles later on tonight. So it's waffles right now.
Do you at least thaw them out?
No, I just put them right in the I put them in the air fryer for like 4 minutes. I flip them over and go 4 more.
As opposed to just eating them.
Oh yeah, I'm not just eating them like chips. Yeah, right. That would be kind of weird. Yeah.
Although it's something I would probably do. I like waffles too. We have a waffle maker. I used to make Belgian waffles all the time.
Oh,
it's a pain in the butt to make because you have basically it's a 50% batter and 50% meringue, and you kind of mix it together. They're really good, light and fluffy and crispy. Yep. Really
Put some bacon in there, some bacon bits in there.
You could do that.
Yeah, I like it.
My addicted to is the 3D printing. That's what I've done all week, and hopefully it'll be something different next week.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, next week it's gonna be bird watching, right?
Well, that's true. Yeah. Actually, my addicted to next week will probably be driving because I've round trip. It's probably going to be over 5,000 miles probably.
Wow, so many. Okay, so looking at my schedule for this week, tomorrow is Monday. I'm gonna do in the office the next 2 days, Monday, Tuesday. On Sunday nights, I absolutely hate doing Monday, Tuesday. But on Tuesday afternoon, as I'm driving home from golf, it's the greatest feeling ever because I don't have to go to work the rest of the week. I'm done. Right. So it's going to be Monday, Tuesday this week. And I'll continue working through the book 3 plot at lunch. I also have my writer's club this week on Thursday, so I might take a day and try to write. I have chapter 1 written. I do have to change the ending just a little bit, but I may try to spruce that up and read that, write that, edit that so I can read it in my writer's club on Thursday. Tuesday, again, I'll continue working through lunch, and I have my golf league in the evening. It doesn't look like it's going to rain, so I think we're going to end up playing. And then the next 3 days, I'll be working from home. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll continue plotting at lunch on Wednesday and Thursday. Have my writer's club on Thursday night. On Friday, I'm doing 3 hours PTO. I'm leaving at noon, and I have to take my car in to get 3 of the 4 sensors over the tires fixed, including the sensor that they fixed 6 months ago, because I think Chevy has a problem with these things. I think they're terrible. And I wouldn't be surprised if once I got them fixed 3 days from now, they didn't break again. So
these are the inflation.
Yeah.
Those are problems in a lot of vehicles.
Yeah. So and then I will take my laptop with me though. They have a little table that I've sat at in the past. And I'll try to get some work done writing wise. Saturday and Sunday I have tea time, 7:04 a.m. on Saturday and 7:12 on Sunday. In both cases, I'll come home, I'll go somewhere and keep plotting. And then who knows, I'll have my grocery order, I'll do some cleaning, my chores on the weekend, I'll definitely play some games. And then so we're going to podcast a week from Wednesday. You'll be back Monday?
I'll be back Monday, but I have work Tuesday late, so yeah.
Wednesday. Right, so we're going to podcast a week from Wednesday. So then going into the following week, I don't know what days I'll be in the office the following week. Again, I'm looking at Monday, Tuesday. I'm also looking at Tuesday, Thursday. Like I said, I hate it on Sunday night, but I love it on Tuesday night. So I'm going to try to do Monday, Tuesday as much as I can. And then I have golf Tuesday night, and then Wednesday. So my Kindle Countdown deals does start a week from tomorrow. So that'll be kind of fun to track and keep an eye on. Although Amazon does not update the rankings like they used to, where you could just keep refreshing and watching the rankings. Right. Now it's literally once a day. Makes it a little bit tougher, but it'll still be fun to keep track of all the different, I have Amazon, I have the affiliate, what are they called? The affiliate, not the affiliate links. What are the links called now? Attribution. I have the attribution links set up all over the place. It'll be fun to watch those. I just enjoy all those numbers. So that'll be a good time. And then Wednesday next week, I'll probably work from home, and then you and I will podcast in the evening. And my goal for next week is, for the next time we podcast, is to, by the time we start podcasting, I want to be writing instead of plotting. And that's the goal.
Okay. So are you going to write more before you actually send the outline over to C? Or
no?
Okay.
Oh, the only one I might write is chapter 1, and that's for the Writers Club. But no, I'm going to get it in a good order. It'll be like a 25-page outline. She doesn't know what she's in for right now. So yeah, so I'm not going to write any of it. I'm not even going to send her the written stuff. I'm literally just going to send her the outline, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, me this coming week, Monday through next Monday, I'll be going Grand Rapids, Michigan to Whitefish Bay, Michigan, back down through Detroit, back over to Grand Rapids, and then back to Baton Rouge. And that's going to be, like I said, almost well over 5,000 miles, and hopefully it'll be fun. It's a lot of driving, though. It really is. I'm getting too old for it. But and then Tuesday and Wednesday, next week from Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be back at the library working. Who knows if I'll feel like doing anything once I get back. I'll probably be sleepy as heck. So we'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, I don't really have anything. Well, one thing I got to do, that's right, I didn't put it down here, but one thing I absolutely have to do this coming week is drop another couple of episodes of my serialization into Substack while I've got people interested in the story. Well, people think that I'm Jim Butcher. So I love
somebody
that,
actually
man.
Told you that, right?
Yeah, somebody actually told me that. I loved it. It was great. Personally, I don't see the comparison, but I'll take it, man. So yeah, I got to feed that mill a little bit this coming week while I'm gone. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to share.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, the Facebook ads was the big thing. I talked about that during my recap. So that'll be it. Again, like I said, short podcast, short week for us. And the next one will probably be a little bit longer since it's a long week for us. So that is going to be it for this week. If you want to email me, jerry@jerryevanoff.com. You can contact me, jerryevanoff.com. And the Substack is jerryevanoffauthor.substack.com. Go read my Perry Mason stuff. I actually think it's kind of fun. So
yeah. You can email me at rich@richcasey.com. I'm on Blue Sky at Casey himself. And go check out the novel serialization over on Substack. You can just look for my name, Rich Casey, or you could look for the title of the novel, which is The Dark We Hide.
All right, everyone, that's going to be it for this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will talk to you all in about a week and a half. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great 10 days.